Hey guys, we're here at San Diego Comic-Con 2019 with the 10-year, over a decade with DeviantArt artist Nips.
Yes.
Nips, thank you for spending some time with us. So you've been in the art game, as it were, for over a decade. How did you get started, and how difficult was it to actually turn this into a career?
Oh my God, that's a loaded question. So I actually have a bachelor's in biology. So I was going to go to medical school, and I drew my whole life. Like, I have artists in the family, and my parents were always people that thought I should focus on schoolwork and stuff, so they never really let me have a job, and which I'm very fortunate for. Like, not a lot of people have that, and like, you know, they paid for like all of my college and everything, but they're like, if we're going to do this, you know, you got to get straight A's, all right? No working, no excuses, no nothing. But then I was like, I want spending money. Like, I want to buy things. And so I had a friend in high school who introduced me to like so many new worlds. She like showed me like a digital tablet. I was like, it's a piece of plastic that I could draw on, and the strokes come out on the screen. Like, my whole mind was blown. And she was the same person that introduced me to DeviantArt in like 2006 and stuff. And then from there on out, like, I discovered that you could sell your art for money. Like, your art services for money. And it was really like, obviously back then I would like charge for a doodle like $5, which is like heinous now. Like, you would never conceive of doing that now, but it was great. Like, I just started collecting pennies and growing my craft, growing my audience, and like by the time I graduated I could do it full time. And I was studying to take the MCAT, go to medical school, and then I had an artist friend who was like, I'm from Miami. And so she was like, you want to move to California and like be artists? And I was like, oh my God, that sounds like a terrible idea. And like, I did anyway. And here we are like 6 years later, and I'm doing it full time. So yeah, that's how it all started.
So you were doing the convention scene. A lot of times people are at conventions like, oh, I want to go talk to my favorite artist, but they're heads down doing like commissions. Is that something you have to do, and how
commissions at the convention? Yeah. Or okay.
Yeah.
No, finish your question.
Well, but is that something you're constantly doing, or are conventions more just about hanging out with the people?
That's such a good question. I haven't gotten that question yet. So when I started, like, first of all, my first convention was a disaster because like I didn't know what the hell to bring, and also like the convention scene back in the day when I started was very, very primitive. Like, if you look at the convention scene now, like, artists will come with like t-shirts and like stands, and like it looks like a legit pop-up store. And like back then it was like we have some PVC pipes and then like slap some paper that we printed like at our house, and I had 3 posters and that was it. And I didn't have like any display behind me. I just like laid them out on my table, and it was definitely an awakening experience. And back in the day, in order to like break even, I had to do like a lot of commissions. And a lot of the people that followed me like back in the day, they knew that like I would show up to the convention, man the table, take like 15 commissions a day, go home from tabling like 12 hours, and then I would stay up till 4 in the morning finishing all the commissions, and then wake up and repeat it all again. And that was a necessity back then because I didn't make enough money like doing prints and stuff. I'm very fortunate now that like I have a big enough following, and I can sell enough at my table that I don't have to do that. And now that that's a thing, I'm able to come to conventions to hang out and relax a little bit more, see the fans, talk to them. Back in the day, like, it was still like about meeting my fans and everything, but it was so hard because people would come to my table, try to talk to me, and I'm like, I need to draw, I need to pack your poster, I need to finish this drawing, I have 10 more to do, oh my God. So it was like really, really stressful. But like the thing, the throughout the years, it's always been about like finding a place where I can like meet up with people, because like I have so many amazing fans from like all over the world, and like convention seems to be always the place where everybody loves to get together and like come out and hang out. And so I'm like, this is the one place where I know I can see you. So it's really been about that always. And like now I'm so thankful that I don't have to like slave over commissions, that I can actually like, they'll come to my table and I can have a conversation with them and not worry about that. And I'm very grateful to my best friend who like, she tables with me, and she'll like, if she sees that I'm busy, like she'll pack my posters for me, like she's with me there. So yeah, it's definitely gotten a little bit easier over the years. But yeah, commissions were a thing I definitely slaved over at conventions. Yeah, and even now my old, I'm rambling now, but even my old friends, like even my old viewers are like, do you do commissions at conventions, please? When are you opening them again? I'm like, I don't do them anymore. That time is done. My brain is fried. Please no more. But yeah, commissions are a thing.
You also, I want to say, in the last year or two, started a webcomic.
Yes. Oh no. Oh my God. In the last, I started in 2014. Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is that there was a relaunch, like in the last like year or two. So like I started it, like I had always done comics. Like I've always loved to tell stories and like make characters and like bring them to life, and like I fall in love with them, and then like people like end up liking them, which is like the most heartwarming thing. Like, I started in 2014. And I never really, like, it was kind of like a hobby, just something I did on the side. And then eventually, like, it started kind of gaining like a pretty serious following, and I was like, maybe I should like do this seriously. But comics isn't a very luxurious business, so I was like, this is going to be very difficult. Like, not only am I the one writing it, unfortunately, because I'm not a writer by any means, I find it kind of cringy, but it's got to get done. So so like I started really considering it and seeing like, how am I going to take out the time to do this? How am I going to fund it? And eventually, like with Patreon, Twitch, and like all of my income avenues combined, like I redrew the first two, like parts of the first two chapters, and did like a kind of like a massive relaunch. And I was like, I'm gonna take this seriously. And people were super hyped, and people were like super supportive. And like the first prints of the books cost me like close to $2,000. And like it was like a very scary investment for me. I was like, this, like, nobody is gonna give a shit about this. And like I was so floored that in 2 days, like, people like helped me break even. Like, oh, why am I tearing up? But yeah, it was like something I did not expect, like, at all. So I'm very grateful that people really love the comic and support it. So yeah. Oh my God, I'm being such a bitch right now. Jesus.
Oh, holy crap,
The
what's that
sun
over there?
is in my eyes. Find the sun. But yeah, no, it's been like an amazing venture. Obviously, I'm not creating it because I think it's a masterpiece by any means. Like, it's definitely like there's a lot of room for improvement. The writing is like not the best. A lot of
the
it.
comments I've read seem to suggest
Seem to-
otherwise. People seem to love it.
Oh my God. Well, I like making it, and for sure I'm learning as I go. A lot of people are like, well, I want to start my own comic and I'm not ready. And I'm like, well, I'm not ready either. I'm kind of learning as I go. I'm 28. I'm not getting any younger, so I got to do it now. And if it fails, like, whatever. Like, I'll learn whatever I learned from it and then just make another one. So yeah, it's been really amazing. So.
Last thing I wanted to ask you about, you've also gotten involved with video games and eSports.
Team Liquid.
I know, this is an awesome jersey.
Yes, yes.
How did that come about, and what were they? Did you reach out to them, or did they see your style and were like, we need that artist to help represent us?
So it was, man, these are some good questions. I love it. Okay, so like it's been kind of like a give or take between those two. So like I started, I got interested in League of Legends like a long time ago when I was in maybe 2011, like in college, and their art style really, really inspired me. And like that was when I started getting into esports, because League of Legends had just started like doing their yearly like worlds and LCSs and events with like all their esports teams and stuff. And I started watching professional players like play and on Twitch and everything, and I started doing a lot of fan art for them, and I got like really into the League of Legends scene. And because of that, like a lot of teams like saw me. And the one I really connected with was Cloud9. Yeah. And at the time, like, they were like my favorite team. Like, I loved all the players, and I would draw like all the players all the time. I did like skins, like fan skins and everything. And like to this day, like Jack, the owner of Cloud9, is like my e-dad. Like, he has taken so much care of me, and like he sent like, those like esports chairs. Yeah. Like he sent like some of those to my mom, and my mom is like an angel. Like, she's so pure. And so like she got her chair, she was like sitting in it, she's like, thank you, Cloud9. I'm like, oh my God, this is the cutest thing. So like he's been like super supportive of me of everything. And throughout the years, because of that and like doing fan art and everything, I've worked with like almost every esports team like on the scene. Like, everybody already knows that like I've worked with everyone, but deep down I'm always Cloud9. Like, everyone knows that. And even working with all the other teams, Cloud9 has been supportive of that. And recently I got picked up by Team Liquid. So I'm like officially Team Liquid. And I reached out to Jack and I was like, Jack, I'm getting picked up by Liquid. Like, because the relationship between Jack and I and Cloud9 has never been like contractual. It's always just been like, you guys have been supportive of me since day one, and I support you guys since day one, and we've never really needed anything of the sort. But Team Liquid was the first team that ever picked me up on like an actual length like contract. Yeah. And so I told him, I was like, he's like, no, you have my blessings, like, good shit, like, your work is really good, and I'm really proud of you, and all of that. And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, but even Team Liquid have also like been really supportive. They just came out, oh my God, I spilled coffee on my shirt, no. But they just partnered with Marvel, and like they made all these like amazing shirts. Like I'm wearing the Quantum one now. They have like Iron Man and everything. But they've always told me that like even if you do want to work with other teams, like you're Team Liquid, but like we know how you are and we know how supportive like all the esports teams are of you and everyone. So like if you do want to work with someone else, like while you're under our contract, like feel free to. Like we just want you to be free and create some cool art, and like we want to enable you to do that. And I'm like, oh my God, everyone is so nice. So yeah, living the dream, bro. Everyone has been nice, and I think creating fan art and just being a part of the community has really enabled me to like do that and be picked up and be seen by teams. So it's been a little bit of both, you know. Like they reach out to me, I reach out to them. So yeah.
So obviously people who are watching this are like, okay, damn, I need to see her art.
Mm-hmm.
Where can they find your stuff? Where can they follow you on Twitter and Instagram, but DeviantArt, all that stuff?
Yeah.
Where can they get you?
Yes. Okay, so everything is, so my name is Nips, but my usernames online are at ONips, like OH, and that's my username on DeviantArt, on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. We stream like live art. We do some little series called Thirsty Thursdays where we do pinups of like characters from shows that the Twitch chat votes on. It's really fun. And then on YouTube, same thing, ONips. I do like more like tutorial things, like I talk about my art process, like a little bit more calmed down. I have a lot of energy, but like it's a little bit more art centered and everything. And then, oh my God, we gotta cut this. Do we move? We're moving.
Down here, you guys.
Thank you. Let me help you grab your stuff.
Oh.
All right. We got it.
Here, cross it. Start going.
You guys better not cut that out.
Not at all. My wife.
The struggles of the interview. But yeah, and then my comic has its own social media at Offcel, OFFCEL, with an S at the end. So you can check it out on Instagram, Twitter, at Offcells, and then Patreon, patreon.com/offcell without the S at the end. That's how I basically fund the comic. It's free to read as well online. So if you guys want to go ahead and read it, check it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know how cringy it is. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All of that contact information is just going to be down below in case you missed it in the chaos. But this is going on the outtakes for this year's.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Nips, thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
Thank you guys so much for having me. You guys are so sweet. Even the time we had before, I conducted my own interview, so you know what I'm saying.
Great.